Good morning. This is Dr. Shandip Rai Sarkar from Holy Cross College, Tripura. Okay. So, this is the renal circulation. What is the renal circulation? As we know that the blood is entering through the renal arteries, then this blood must be reached to millions of nephrons, to all of the nephrons. That blood supply must be reached to all of the glomerular filtrate to being filtrated. That is the renal circulation. So, renal circulation is the pathway through which the blood can reach to each of the nephrons to being filtrated. So this is the actual pathway. Just look at go through the colors. The arteries are showing by blue, and the red, and the veins are showing by blue. So the first artery which is entering is the interlobular artery. Just try to find out. After the renal artery, that renal artery is being turned into interlobular artery. Then they will go on, and they will reach to each of the glomerular filtrate. From that glomerular filtrate, now the veins will originate, and they will go out in the form of interlobular vein, and finally the renal vein. So this is the diagrammatic view. If we can sum up this one in the form of a flow chart, this will be uh, like this one: the renal artery which is entering, and the renal vein which is going out, the afferent arteriole which is entering the glomerulus, the efferent arteriole which is going out from the glomerulus. So the pathway of, or the course of renal circulation is like that. First the renal artery is entering, then it will become differentiated into the lobular artery. The artery is same, the supplying the blood, but now it will be differentiated. It will be termed as interlobular artery. From this interlobular artery, arcuate artery originates. From this arcuate artery, there is cortical radial arteries, and this cortical radial arteries, efferent arterioles originate. Through these efferent arterioles, blood can go enter inside the Bowman's capsule, and the glomerulus filtration occurs. The filtrate will pass through the renal tubules, and the rest of the blood will going out of this glomerulus with the help of efferent arterioles. Now from these efferent arterioles, peritubular capillaries and the vasa recta originate. I already shown you what are the peritubular capillaries. These peritubular capillaries, just look at this: the reddish and the blackish color capillaries. The yellow one is our nephron, and the red or black color thing is the peritubular capillary, which actually originates from the efferent arterioles, and their role is to absorption and the secretion of substances directly into and out of the blood. So the peritubular capillaries and the vasa recta. Vasa recta I will show you just in our next figure. Then it will forming the cortical radial vein, then the arcuate vein, interlobular vein, and finally the renal vein. So this is the our flow chart, and the diagrammatic view is like this one: interlobular artery, then the arcuate artery, then the our cortical radial artery, and the next structure is forming, that is the efferent arteriole, efferent arteriole, and then the veins are joined. Uh, just try to find out the vasa recta. These are the vasa recta. These blue colored lines, long lines. See, is the descending vasa recta, ascending vasa recta. So vasa recta are mainly the part of efferent arteriole which is going out of the glomerulus, and their function is that these vasa recta are actually supplying blood or collecting blood from the core of the kidney, or from the core of the cortex where the nephrons are there. So these vasa recta are supplying blood or collecting blood from the core part of the cortex of our kidney. See, so that is the vasa recta. Uh, So that's all about the renal circulation. How the, so this figure, don't get confused. This figure actually is the cross-sectional view of our kidney. If this is the kidney, if you cross-sect, see the arteries are entering. The arteries are entering. Red colored arteries are entering. Then what? After the artery is entering, Then this is the figure. This artery is turned into number of other branches. Since see, as only single renal artery is entering, single one. Now, how many nephrons are there in each kidney? More than 2 millions of nephrons. Now, this single renal artery should be differentiated or should be branched into more than 2 million arterioles, and only then it is possible to supply each of the glomerulus of more than 2 million nephrons to each of the kidneys. So that is the thing, that is the pathway. And after it is supplying to the efferent arteriole, the efferent arteriole originates. From this efferent arteriole, there are two separate things. One is the peritubular capillary, one is the vasa recta, and finally it will go out of the kidney in the form of renal vein, and thereby the blood is going back to our heart, and the heart will circulate. And this thing is going on, going on, going on throughout the day, throughout the life, throughout the minute, throughout the year. Okay. Uh, so this is the renal circulation. Now this renal circulation is having some peculiarities. What are the peculiarities? The first peculiarity is the renal portal system. What is that? The blood has to pass through the double capillary network. What is double capillary network? One is the glomerular tuft, glomerular capillary. Second one is the peritubular capillary. So blood has to pass through a double capillary network. One network is the glomerular capillaries. Its function is to filtration of the blood and forming the glomerular filtrate or the urine. Second, that blood is also passing through the peritubular capillary, and it is not the simple going on through inside a pipe. No, but it is also having some other functions. What are their functions? One function is the reabsorption, another function is the secretion. So the blood has to pass through two types of capillaries. One is the glomerular tuft, its function is to filtration. Second one is the peritubular capillaries, its function is the reabsorption and the secretion. That is the one peculiarity of the renal portal system. Second we have is the extraglomerular and extraperitubular capillaries. See, the glomerular capillaries are there. Now among these glomerular capillaries, there are some of the capillaries which are other than glomerular capillaries. Just I will show you the figure, the flow chart. That is known as the extraglomerular capillaries. There are peritubular vessels, that's okay, but they are also having some extra peritubular vessels. Just look at the figure. So this is our renal circulation. Okay, nothing is peculiar there. What is peculiar? What peculiarity is there? I'm going to show you. Just read it once again. Renal artery, interlobar artery, arcuate artery. Now glomerular efferent arteriole, then that filtrating unit glomerulus, then the glomerular efferent arteriole. Some of the connections are there for the core of our kidney, and that is in the form of vasa recta. From this efferent arteriole, peritubular capillaries, venous plexus, arcuate vein, interlobar vein, finally the renal vein, the blood will go out. So no peculiarity is there. This is the simple one. The peculiarity is there as it is shown that they are having extraglomerular and extra peritubular vessels. Just see the figure. This is the one peculiarity. See, this is the one peculiarity. These are known as shunt. These are some bypass roads through which from the glomerular efferent arterioles, by passing the glomerulus, the blood can go directly into the peritubular capillary without going for the filtration. From the glomerular efferent arteriole, blood can go directly enter into the peritubular capillary. So that is the one shunt known as the Leydig shunt. Another shunt is there. Just look at the figure. From the vasa recta, the blood can go directly into the venous plexus bypassing the peritubular capillary network. That is the Trueta shunt. See, that is the Trueta shunt. So these two are the extraglomerular or extraperitubular capillaries or vessels. Okay, the same thing is written there. So the vasa recta arises from glomerular efferent arterioles which mostly drain blood to the venous plexus without passing through the peritubular network. These shunts serve important functions in chronic kidney diseases where the glomeruli are blocked. What is written? It is written that this shunt, this is the one shunt, duodic shunt, and this is the second shunt, that is truator shunt. These are shunt or bypassing pathways, bypass road, you can term it as bypass road, through which the blood can bypass some of the structures, maybe glomerular capillaries, maybe peritubular capillaries. These are very much important when there is some kidney diseases or nephritic diseases. The blood has to be go on, the blood supply should not be raised, should not be stopped, but there, suppose there may be some difficulty in the filtrating mechanism, there may be some diseases in the glomerular, so the blood supply must be go on. So how the blood will go to the next thing, that is using this shunt or using this bypass road. So that is the second peculiarity, is that our renal circulation is having something which are known as the extraglomerular or extraperitubular capillaries in the form of these two shunts or these two bypass roads. Okay. Third one is the greater and the lesser circulation. The greater circulation, I mean circulation is there, but the majority of the part is 85% of blood and passes through the superficial cortical glomeruli. The glomerulus which are present in the cortex region, 85% of the blood supply is supplied to those glomerulus, those nephrons which are present in the cortex, cortical region of our kidney. And lesser one, that is only 15% of blood will be supplied to those glomeruli, to those nephrons which are present in a juxtaglomerular region. What is the juxtaglomerular region? This is the region which, this is actually the cortex region which is connected with the medullary region. So cortical and the medullary, in between the cortical and the medullary region, that is known as the juxtamedullary region, the junction between the cortex and the medulla, that is the juxtamedullary region. So 15% of blood is only supplied to this juxtaglomerular region where the juxtaglomerular glomeruli are present, and majority of the part, the greater circulation is circulated, that is in the form of 85% to those glomeruli which is present in the cortex. Fourth thing, fourth peculiarity, that is the high renal blood pressure, that I already told you. The renal artery is short, wide, and rises directly from the aorta. That is true. The renal artery, the biggest artery which is entering to our kidney, that is a short one, wider one, short one, so that it can supply the blood instantly without any delay. Wider, that means it is carrying the blood in in highest amount, in sufficient amount, and it rises directly from the aorta, it rises directly from the aorta, so that it can supply blood directly from the aorta, not going through by some other routes or by after division of number of divisions of the arteries. It is supplying blood directly from the aorta. That is the one peculiarity. Afferent glomerular vessel is wider. Other things are there. Afferent glomerular vessels, the afferent arterioles. This afferent arteriole is wider and shorter. Capillary pressure is 75 mm of mercury, which helps in the glomerular filtration. Blood pressure within the glomerular capillary is about 50 to 60% of the blood pressure in the systemic artery. So what is written? It is written that the glomerular afferent arteriole is wider and the shorter. The capillary pressure inside this afferent arteriole is 75 mmHg, and this glomerular capillary pressure is 50 to 60% greater than the blood pressure which are present in our normal arteries, normal systemic arteries which are present in the tissue spaces. Because of this highest pressure, because of this highest because of this highest capability of filtration, the blood is filtrated very rapidly in our kidneys. Fifth one is the autoregulation of the renal blood flow. Within the physiological limit, kidneys have the peculiarity of maintaining the normal blood flow under any condition. Thus, kidneys are able to maintain the normal blood flow inside the kidney, not throughout the body. Inside the kidneys, how much blood will flow, that it can maintain up to some limit. If the pressure is increased up to 90 mm, then the blood flow is proportionately increased. when our normal body blood pressure is increases up to 90 mm of mercury, the blood flow inside the kidney is also increased. That's okay. Now, but if our blood pressure is increased more than 90, say for example 100, 120, 140, 150, what is going on? Now it is written that the further increase in the pressure up to 250 mm of mercury, there will be either no or very little change in the blood flow. I repeat, the blood pressure, when the blood pressure is increases up to 90 mm of mercury, the blood flow towards the kidney, inside the kidneys also increases proportionately to that increase in blood pressure up to 90 mm of Hg. That is okay, that is normal thing. The peculiarity is that if the blood pressure will increase beyond 90, 90, 100, 150, 200, 250, further increase in the blood pressure up to 250 mm of mercury, there will be either no or very little change in the blood flow, in the blood supply to the kidneys. That is the peculiarity. That means it means that excess increase in the blood pressure will impart no or very little change in the blood supply to the our kidneys, to our glomerulus. That is the auto-regulation of the blood flow by the kidney itself. Okay, that's all for today's class. If you are having any queries, any question, you can write in the comment section. I thank you all.